Hi guys, and welcome to the second series here on the channel for Football Manager 2018, where we're going to be taking on the challenge of rebuilding Rangers into a force in Scottish football and European football. It's a bit of an interesting experiment on this one. I myself am a Celtic fan, so I know the players that I hate to see in a Rangers shirt, so we're hopefully going to be signing some of them for the team. But we're starting off today against Bangor City in the Europa League qualifier. We're going with a 4-2-3-1 formation today. I think we can afford to be a bit more attacking and adventurous against the weaker opposition. So we're going with Fodringham, Tavernier, Bruno Alves, Cardoso, Lee Wallace, Ryan Jack, Graham Dorrans, Daniel Candeas, Carlos Peña, Dalcio and Alfredo Morelos. Interestingly, we did have Josh Windass out wide left there, but he has picked up an injury, hence why Dalcio's coming in for this one. We have a signing in the pipeline here, Jonas Knudsen, or Knudsen. I'm just going to say Knudsen for the benefit of ease. He's going to be coming in as a left back. I think that's where we are pretty weak, so I'm going to be bringing him in for just under £2 million. I think he's a pretty solid player there. He's got good long throws on him, fairly athletic player, decent crossing. And pretty good mental stats there. He's a good player. I don't think he's a fantastic player. I don't think we're going to be using him in years to come, where we're looking to possibly go deeper in the Champions League. But he's going to do for now, I think, in a position where I think Rangers are pretty weak out wide left. Without further ado, let's get into this one. A lot of players obviously lacking match fitness, as these qualifiers are very early in the season. We're up against a 4-4-1-1 here today. I'm just going to tell the boys passionately that we should be winning this one comfortably, because I think obviously we're the stronger team here. It's a special day to get started. No concerns about complacency. So let's go on this one. We're going to encourage the boys to just go here. Actually, I do need to make some changes here, take some replays off, change some of the speed of the game. And that's pretty much the only changes I made to the display here. Our match speed was pretty much just normal when we were playing on our AC Milan playthrough, which I think is going pretty well. So yeah, I just fancy doing this one with Rangers as well. It's a bit of an interesting experiment, I think, to play as your rivals. Obviously, you know the players that you hate to see playing for your rivals. Ryan Jack here picking the ball up, playing it out wide right. Tavernier playing it forward to Candeas, inside to Peña. Carlos Peña now, a terrible pass, easily blocked actually. Dixon to Crockett now. Crockett losing the ball back to Ryan Jack. He plays it forward to Morelos, forward to Candeas, getting forward. Can he whip the ball in for Morelos here? Gets to the byline, whipped in. Morelos with a header, and it's beyond the goalkeeper. Just before 2 minutes, Alfredo Morelos putting us ahead. This game should be relatively easy. I mean, I'm not going to make a progress needed corn joke. I'm going to resist. But the first stage of the qualifier here should be relatively easy for us. Will we manage to actually qualify for the groups? I'm not entirely certain where we're going to manage that, but we're going to give it a good go. Doran's ball over the top wasn't great, but the defender's touch is awful. Peña manages to find Morelos, who can get in a shooting opportunity. It's a good tackle. It comes back to Peña, puts it wide of the post. Commanding the game so far in the opening 5, as I expected we would be. An opportunity for some of the players here to establish themselves as solid first choices, as Ryan Jack goes into the book. I think we may look to unite him with Kenny McLean in season 2. Wonder if he will actually leave Aberdeen or if he'll sign a new contract. I'm not entirely certain. I've seen a couple of players go either way. Ozil and Sanchez, for example, at Arsenal. I've seen Ozil sign a new deal, but I've seen Sanchez go on a free to Man City. So I think it's pretty open whether players whose deals are running out are actually going to leave or not. Tavernier finds Jack now. Ryan Dorrans after 15 minutes trying to make our way forward. Carlos Peña with a good ball to Morelos. I think we're going to have to play pretty well in these games to give ourselves some confidence for the opening league games, as Tavernier drills a cross, but it is cleared easily by the defenders. It will be picked up by Wallace though. Plays it to Dorrans. Dorrans forward to Peña, round the corner for Morelos. Candeas tripped in the ball, and it will be a penalty to Rangers after 16 minutes. I actually haven't picked the penalty taker, so I'm not sure who will step up for this one here. Referee taking his sweet time to come over and book Drew Hayes for Bangor City here. Drew Hayes with his classic default haircut. James Tavernier will take the penalty. Hopefully putting us 2-0 up here early on. Just waiting for the referee to take his time. To tell him he can take the penalty, sorry. James Tavernier, and it's 2-0. 2-0 to Rangers. I think one of the main things I want to do as well is develop some of Rangers youth players. They've actually got quite a good selection of youth players. Ross McCrory, of course, in real life I was pretty impressed with when he played in the Old Firm derby, so we're going to look to bring him through. Is Cardoso playing it to Pena now? Can he hit a shot here? From deep he can, but it is well wide of the post. And as you can see here, the referee's yellow card seems to be lying in the middle of the park. Bit of a weird one there. Tavernier now with the throw to Pena. We're certainly playing well. Tavernier now, maybe we need a bit more cutting edge about us though. Just Tavernier whips it away by Hayes, nicked on. Pena will play it to Jack though, who can go back to Pena. He goes to Dorans actually, into Pena. Can he find a pass? Oh, he loses it. Dorans will pick it up though. Opportunity to shoot, plays it into Morelos. Takes a nice touch, but it's a good block by Matthew Harris. An exciting first half. Actually, yep, we have extended highlights on. We only want key highlights, otherwise the episodes would be 40 minutes plus. Good challenge there by Tavernier. It's pretty much the commanding performance that I expected so far, with lacking a bit of cutting edge because we do lack a little bit of quality. Benham now taking the goal kick long towards Crockett. Should be headed away by Alves. It is. Dorans won't get there though. Young picks it up for Bangor. Back to Elias. Forward. Bruno Alves away. Dorans will pick this up. We can have a bit of an opportunity here to get forward. Pena now. Forward to Morelos. Loses the ball after a bad touch. Harris thinks it long. Good cut out by Cardoso, but Pocket will pick it up. O'Sullivan now. Crockett. Dixon. Bangor trying to build something here. And it's a terrible ball forward which Wallace will easily intercept. He'll play it very long over the top. Morelos chasing the goalkeeper, should get there. He does. It's cleared as Dorans hits her on the volley, and what a finish that is from about 40 yards. Graham Dorans, 45 yards according to the game. Wow, that's a way to make a debut, isn't it? And Bangor City now kicking off 3-0. I think we're probably on to a cricket score here. Hayes forward to O'Sullivan. Into Pocket. Let's hope Ryan Jack doesn't get sent off, but he does win it and play it to Morelos. Forward to Pena now. Can he hold it up and play a pass in? Nope, but it goes back to Ryan Jack, who will find Tavernier. Can he shape a cross? Just keeps the ball in. Plays it back to Jack now. And Pena and Dorans, and forward to Candeas. Dorans, Morelos. Dalcio, he scores. Lovely goal from Dalcio. 4-0 now. And we're really starting to turn on the style. Another debut goal. Obviously this isn't really where we're going to be judged though, these easy games early on in European qualifying. The league is where we're going to be judged, whether or not we can get close to Celtic, whether we can even beat Celtic, who knows. I mean, it's going to be a big ask with the financial clout that they have, along with just the sheer quality in the squad. Obviously we're going to be telling the boys here that it's been a fantastic half, we've done really well. I'm going to bring on some players now. I'm going to bring on McCrory for Bruno Alves. McCrory, who would prefer to be a defensive centre-back apparently, but I'll still make him a stopper. Nemani can come on for Candeas. I'm going to bring Baronas on for Graham Dorans. Baronas prefers to be an attacking advanced playmaker, which is fine. I've got no problem with that in a game like this where we can absolutely go gung-ho. I think we're going to have to look into more defensive formations perhaps if we get into the real European competition, and also to take on Celtic. If we go to Parkhead and try and attack them, we're probably going to get absolutely decimated, so we're going to have to look for something a bit more rigid, a bit more at the Graham Murty school of thought. Second half a bit more dull, but Wallace will now take the throw towards Baronas, who will pick it up, play it across. Nemani's in there, he's headed it off the woodwork. It is cleared. Baronas is a player actually I'm going to have to look into trying to give a lot of game time because he's got a lot of potential there in the midfield. O'Sullivan losing that to Tavernier. Pena now. Morelos getting forward looking for the shot. Who's rolled it into Dalcio. Just wide of the mark. We've not done bad at creating opportunities today. Nemani apparently has had a bit of a poor game, which is a shame. I fancied he would be a player we could bring on who would make a bit of an impact off the bench, but he's struggled today. It's Dalcio playing it forward to Wallace now, takes a nice touch, beats his man, shaping for a cross, and it goes towards Morelos, whose header is clawed at by the goalkeeper but unable to keep it out. Second goal of the game for 5-0, and it's a brilliant start. Brilliant start to the season here. Wallace now, can we make it 6 and get a real proper hiding? It's into Pena, looking for a ball in. Cleared away well, but it will be picked up, you'd feel here. Yep, Cardoso coming way into the opposition half, losing it actually to Crockett. Oh no, he doesn't, he retains it. Dalcio now. Can he play it out wide to Wallace? He can. Can he get the cross in here? Nope, he plays it to Baronas. Nice ball to Pena. Morelos, who is of course on a hat-trick now, playing it out wide to Wallace and then getting in the box. Wallace goes deep, Nemani's in there, heads it down for Morelos. Hat-trick for Alfredo Morelos, and Aaron Nemani gets the assist after we're saying that he's done pretty poor since coming on. It was a lovely head ball down for the hat-trick for Morelos. 2 minutes added on time now, 36 of that left to go. Wouldn't imagine there's going to be too much action left in the game, but it's a brilliant debut performance from us. Pinch of salt, of course, against weaker opposition here against Bangor at Ibrox, but it left. Oh, Morelos now, possible chance for a fourth for him, but it's a good block by the defender. This leaves us with the opportunity to go down to Wales and play the likes of McCrory and Baronas from the start. As Cardoso helps her on to Ryan Jack, he'll play it to Baronas. Pena now coming forward, beats his man into Morelos. Whistle will be any minute now. There it goes, 6-0. That's a great performance from us here, and we're very, very happy with that result, of course. And I've also signed a young centre-back called Milanese, who's a free agent at the start of the game. He looks like he can become a decent ball-playing defender. Whether he'll become first team or not, I'm unsure, but certainly something we can develop into somebody who we want to be using in the future. We will go ahead actually and go past the Dunfermline friendly fixture. We won't be playing that one. We'll allow the assistant manager, who by the way is Bert Kontelman, because we've released Pedro Caixinha's assistant, who obviously is here at the start of the game. So we've released him. Miles Bierman and Ryan Hardy's contracts are running out. He looks actually pretty good, Miles Bierman. I mean, mental stats obviously need working on, but he is only 18. Yeah, I'll give him a new deal, why not? Try and tie him up for 5 years. Yep, okay, I'm happy with that. And Ryan Hardy as well. He looks a decent young striker, I guess I'll give him an extension. Try and tie him up for the 5. Lovely, I'm happy with that. So we're going to get young Knudsen in. Well, I say young, he's about 24. Going to get the players in here on the 1st. We will of course practice our attacking movement for the Dunfermline game, which, as I say, we won't be taking. We'll allow Bert Kontelman to do that. We'll get the draw in the Iron Brew Cup, and then we will play the second game against Bangor. It's a nice introductory episode. Just get to know the players, get to see the team a little bit in action against relatively simple opposition. And then obviously the next episode will be the exciting stuff. Yep, language course for Milanese there. I'll add them both to the training camp squad. As we take a little look now, Jonas Knudsen is actually our best left back, I believe. I'll look at the reports. Yep, he absolutely is. Headley, Wallace and Declan John there. Declan John obviously only a loanee, which I'm not keen to overutilise. I think Rangers really should be relying on their own players, developing their own youngsters. But there's a couple of decent loanees there to be used. Let's just hand over the responsibility for friendly matches to Bert Kontelman. Let's see how he gets on taking the team against Dunfermline. Actually, I'm interested to see this. We should batter Dunfermline. 1-0. Nah, I'll take it. Fabio Cardoso with a goal. Jason Holt unfortunately picking up an injury there in that one. The Irn-Bru Cup draw to come, and then of course Bangor City. Yeah, no press conference to talk about the signings. Okay. Where's the Irn-Bru Cup draw? Are we in round one? Maybe we're not in round one. Or actually, is the Irn-Bru Cup maybe the Challenge Cup? I don't know. There's too many changes of the bloody name of the things. Okay, Graham Murty is pleased with the development of our tactics here. Graham Murty, who I've promoted to the role of coach rather than working with the youngsters. I actually was thinking about making Graham Murty my assistant manager, but then I seen Big Bert Conteman was available, so decided to get him in. Okay, we'll allow him to do the tactical briefing, and we're about to play Bangor again, and we can see some of our rotational players in action, see how they get on. We're not gonna bring Alnwick on apparently because he's injured. We're gonna have to bring a youth goalkeeper up, and we'll go with, who will we go with? We'll go with Liam Kelly. We'll bring him up. Is he actually available? He is. He's available. Let's bring him onto the bench. Actually, you know what? We'll let him play. Ross McCrory will start ahead of Bruno Alves. We will give him a personalised role as a defensive centre-back. Declan John can play since Knudsen is unavailable for this game. Declan John, who appears to want to be an attacking fullback like Tavernier, so that's fine. Yep, he's got the same instructions as Tavernier does. Jordan Rossiter on for Ryan Jack. Rossiter, who would like to be ball-winning midfielder if he plays in that role. Baronas coming on for Aaron Dorans. Why did I say? Oh, Graham Dorans. Yep, he'll be an attacking advanced playmaker. Eduardo Herrera will start ahead of Morelos, and he will be a complete forward apparently. Interesting. Nemani ahead of Candeas. He will be a winger. We're going to bring Bates onto the bench for Alves. Actually, Bates can go on for Cardozo. We can play the two youngsters at the back. They're both defensive centre-backs. He can cover for McCrory, who's going to be the stopper. Danny Wilson, I suppose, can be on the bench. None of those guys could play. Jason Holt can go on the bench ahead of Candeas. Windass on the bench for Dorans. Kenny Miller on the bench for Alfredo Morelos. Nico Kranjkar on the bench for Ryan Jack. Actually, Nico Kranjkar can start ahead of Dalcio out on the left. He will play as an advanced playmaker, of course. And we will give him instructions to actually sit narrower. He can do that if he wishes. Yeah. I think we're ready to go, or do we want to go with Jason Holt? Fitness tests, they're not quite fully fit, Holt or Windass. Or no, here's what we do. We'll put Pena off, Kenny Miller can come on, Nico Kranjkar can be in the middle, and Kenny Miller can actually play wide on the left. It's not exactly something he enjoys, but I'm sure he'll enjoy it more than sitting on the bench. Let's allow him, sit narrower, get further forward. And we'll see how he does wide left. I mean, it's not exactly something I'm going to ask him to do too often, but in a simple game like this, I'm sure he would rather get some game time than not. Lee Wallace is being rested and nothing more. And let's encourage the boys again. Let's see what we can actually, see what the score can end up being. I don't expect today to be as clinical as the other day with these rotational boys on, but I do expect them to come here and win. Bangor have already survived longer than they did at Ibrox. Harris to Young. pocket now. Forward it goes towards Dixon. Tavernier will cut it out. A galloping run forward from Tavernier. Beats one. Still going. Whipped in towards Herrera. Headed away by Roberts though. Baronas will pick it up. He has Kenny Miller. No, goes to Kranjkar. Kranjkar can see Tavernier. Crossed in first time for Herrera, who helps it beyond the goalkeeper. 10 minutes gone, we make it 1-0. I actually kind of like Herrera in real life. I mean, in the sense that I recognise he's a good player. So a good start from the side. Obviously not as clinical, not as creative as we were in the first game, because we're playing a bit of a rotational team now. But here's Rossiter to whip in the free kick. Decent ball in. Kranjkar heads it towards goal, and it's a big towering header from Nico Kranjkar to make it 2-0. He's had a bit of a torrid time of it at Rangers actually in real life. Kranjkar never really established himself, but he's got a lot of good technical attributes in the game here, so he could play a part. As John finds Kranjkar, who finds Kenny Miller now. Kenny Miller, oof, and it's almost creeped in there, but it's hit the post. Cleared by Harris. No real test for the two young centre backs. As we go to half time, 2-0 up. I'm just going to calmly tell them that we're pleased. They've not set the world on fire, but it's certainly been good enough in my opinion. Okay, let's change the formation up a little bit. Let's go for this formation. Those of you who've been following the AC Milan save know exactly what this formation's all about. We'll bring Danny Wilson on to be in the middle of the two defenders here. He can be covering. McCrory actually will be a stopper, and Bates will be just a regular defender. So John and Tavernier can play the wing-back roles here. Tavernier of course would prefer apparently to be a complete wing-back, so we'll go with that. And Declan John can also do that, so we'll make them both complete wing-backs. We'll bring on Jason Holt for Kranjkar, and we'll bring on Windass for Herrera, and we'll actually throw Kenny Miller up to the striker role, where he prefers to be a defensive forward, so we'll go with that. We don't have any team instructions or anything set for this formation yet. I will do that in between episodes, but I'm fairly sure that they'll be able to get through 45 minutes against Bangor City without shipping 9 goals, even without the instructions. Hayes now with the throw in, 3 minutes into the second half. Dixon picks the ball up into Pocket. Pocket with a poor touch as Holt will recover the ball and plays it into Windass, moves it out to the left hand side to Declan John. Roaming forward down that left hand side now. Kenny Miller's made his way into the box. John will whip it in. The keeper will flap and it will go over the bar. Stands absolutely packed for this one. Literally nobody in the stand behind the keeper there. I find that difficult to believe somehow. I think if Bangor City were in a big game against Rangers, there'd be a lot more people here. Some people in the main stand there clearly, but I think it would be packed out probably if they were playing Rangers in reality. Well, there's an injury to Kenny Miller. Unfortunately, we can't actually make any more substitutions. Windass is going to have to play the striker role, which leaves Holt in the hole behind him alone. False 9 for Windass, which he can kind of sort of do. But again, I don't think they'll ship 9 goals, even though we're down to the 10 men here. Hope Kenny Miller's injury isn't too serious. Potential groin injury, it shouldn't be too bad. Hayes now with the throw in. I hope Bangor City don't score in the last 18 minutes here. I'd like the double clean sheet. Rossiter launches it forward, but it's easily cut out by Humphreys, and here's Elias. O'Sullivan now, it looks a bit dangerous here. O'Sullivan back to Jenkins, who dinks it forward into the mix. It should be defended relatively easily by Danny Wilson here. He's launched it forward, picked up by Windass actually. What can he do? Completely isolated, but he is running at the defence here full speed. Can he take on a man? He beats one, hits his shot, but it's well wide of the post. Headed away well by Wilson, but it will be picked up now by Bangor City again. Pocket on the ball. Young now. Tavernier trying to nick it, goes to Pocket. There's an opportunity through here to Crockett, gets between the three defenders, and Andy Crockett has made it 2-1 now. Absolutely disappointing here, gutted, but what you're going to do. 8-1 I suppose is not a bad aggregate score. It took them until the last 10 minutes over the two ties, playing against 10 men, to get anything against us. As Declan John looks to get into the box here, Holt will drive it low and it'll be easy for the goalkeeper Benham to pick up. 20 seconds remaining here in added on time. Relatively happy with what I've seen so far from the team. It seems we've got some capable players. Obviously there's some dead weight still left in the squad. I think the main thing that's going to determine our success is how good AI Celtic are. I mean, up against a human Celtic player, I don't think we would have any hope in the world, so it'll just be interesting to see how the AI handles Brendan Rodgers and Celtic. Good win for us, boys, well done. So yeah, so far a decent game. Some decent performances there. Kerry Miller will be injured for 4 to 7 weeks, 4 to 5 weeks actually here, being treated by the physio. Herrera making his debut, scoring of course one of the goals. And we have Brøndby in the second round of qualifying, which will be pretty tough for us actually. That'll be a test, a lot more so than playing Bangor City of course. We look at some of Brøndby's players here. They've got a couple on loan. We can't see much of them. Their goalkeeper though, Frederick Ronau, I believe you would pronounce that, is a pretty damn good goalkeeper. Used him in my Celtic team in Football Manager 2017, so I know all about him. A good ball playing defender there. Mukhatar is a pretty decent player as well. He could give us some trouble. Timu Pukki obviously is an okay striker who could maybe give us a bit of bother. Hopefully we can go through that one, but it will be tough. It will be tough. Well, anyway, thank you guys for tuning in for the first episode here of our Rangers playthrough. When we come back, we'll be playing Brøndby in the double header. We'll obviously have the fixture against Cambuslang Rangers, but we won't be playing that, just like we had the Dunfermline friendly. Bert Contman will take the Cambuslang Rangers game. So, if you guys have enjoyed this episode, it's the start to the new series, which will be running alongside our AC Milan series. If you guys have enjoyed this episode, drop down below and leave a like. It'd be much appreciated. It really does help out small channels such as myself here on the YouTubes. If you want to follow along to the series, you can always subscribe to the channel, which I would greatly appreciate. Pardon me. But overall, just thanks for watching the videos, and I'll see you next time when we're taking on Brøndby, trying to get through in Europe.